Hi Cancer, welcome back to my channel, Karma Fox. I am doing your weekly reading for December. Hope everybody's doing well. I am going to take a quick second to remind everyone that this is a general reading. It may not resonate with every Cancer sign out there, so guys, just take what resonates for you and leave the rest for someone else. Keep in mind that the energies can reverse. So if it is resonating for you, just get in where you fit in, Cancer. But as always, please don't try to force yourself into a reading that's not for you. Spirit, can I have the energy of the sign of Cancer? Cancer. Okay, Cancer, you are starting with the Three of Swords reversed. You have the Queen of Swords and the Seven of Wands reversed. You're healing from something. You've been heartbroken here. I feel like you are well into your way of healing. It's caused you to really put up your boundaries, which is a good thing, the boundaries. So you are learning from the experience. And as you heal, those boundaries go up so that I don't see this as you closing off your heart. This is more you just saying, I want love in my life, but I want proper love in my life. I don't want to be the one who's always giving. There is some sort of a issue or a person that you could be avoiding conflict with right now. You may be a little bit defensive towards this person, not even sure if you actually do want to talk to them. And I do see that, whatever caused this heartbreak made you feel a little bit powerless for a time. So let me see who's in your energy, Cancer. Show me who is in Cancer's energy. All right, we have the Seven of Cups, King of Pentacles reversed. You could be dealing with a Taurus, Virgo, or a Capricorn, and the King of Swords reversed. Ooh, this is not real good energy. Could also be dealing with a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So I feel like whoever this is that you're dealing with, this person could be very dishonest, especially with regard to money or finances. This person is a little bit unstable. Their finances are unstable, and they could be doing something that is not quite honest in order to try to address that. This is coming across as somebody who's created a lot of confusion in your life, and I do feel like they are definitely having financial issues. They're trying to figure out what they can do to handle that. But unfortunately, they're leaning towards, something dishonest, or at least they're including that as an option. This is somebody who is money hungry. So just no wonder you have that sword up. No wonder you're being very careful with this person. This person could also have anger issues. Let me see the energy between Cancer and this person. Show me the energy. Five of Swords reverse. So you've had conflict with this person, and at this point, you're either both avoiding conflict. I feel like you're definitely avoiding conflict because this person doesn't fight fair. They're kind of like, they'll go in and do whatever it takes as long as they win. So they don't fight fair. And I do feel like you're both kind of avoiding one another right now, and it may be because of previous conflict. That's what led to your heartache here. Let me see what's affecting this connection. Five of Cups. There's regrets here. Yeah, looking back over everything that's happened, looking back at what occurred between you and this person. Cancer, you could be questioning yourself right now whether this person ever really cared for you, whether they loved you. There's sadness here. There's even depression for some of you, or at least there has been. I do see you coming out of that. But I do feel like between you and this person and what's affecting this connection is that you've had to learn some really, really hard lessons here. One of those lessons being proper boundaries. So I do feel like this person in your energy has kind of put you through it. Now, in their energy, they do feel a loss in this connection. They're also looking back at everything that happened, and they do have some regrets for how they have behaved. This person may have had other options as well. Let me see the outcome for Cancer. The Four of Cups. Yeah, kind of looking back. You feel like this person took you for granted. Like you were over here offering your feelings, your emotions. You were there for them. But all they could look at is possibly third-party energy, other options, or they were just distracted by other things. And you know, I got to tell you, this person now, instead of, and they're thinking about you even now because they're still looking back. You're both kind of in this energy of looking back at this connection, looking back at everything that happened, but they're angry. They have this angry facade, very dishonest facade, whereas you, this whole thing made you feel extremely powerless. And I can understand why, because you're over here giving of yourself, which is why you had to learn to put in proper boundaries. You know, it's good to give of yourself, but you also have to receive as well. It's an energetic, how do I word that? Like, exchange. It's an energetic exchange. And if you're the one who's always giving, you become depleted. But if it goes back and forth, that's a balanced connection. You give, they give, everybody's happy. You know, but it defies the laws of the universe for you to be the only one given. So therefore, you had to learn those boundaries. Bottom of the deck is the World. That does indicate to me that there is a cycle here that's closing out. And I feel like it's been a very difficult, very sad cycle for you. But I do see you closing that out. I do see you healing. And I do feel like you're ready to begin a new cycle. So let's clarify. Spirit, why is the Three of Swords in reverse? Yeah, the World. You're the one closing out the cycle. Eight of Cups reversed. So even if this person comes back around, and they may have already come back around, because I did feel like you're avoiding them. They may have come back towards you trying to figure out how to resolve the conflict that was there between the two of you. But I feel like you're done with this situation. You've done a lot of healing, and you're like, I just don't want to deal with this anymore. So I feel like you're avoiding them. Why is the Queen of Swords here for Cancer? Why is the Queen of, yeah, the Devil. You feel like they're toxic. And the Two of Pentacles. So as you're healing, you're finding your balance here. And I do feel like you are having nothing to do with somebody who's toxic. So you feel like they're toxic. Some of you feel like they're the devil incarnate. And you know, I couldn't go that far, but I will say that their energy is not that good. I also feel like you are finding the balance that you're seeking as you heal, as you close this out, as you put those boundaries up. A lot of you could be feeling like, you know, love is just not in the cards for you. I don't think that that's true, but I will say that it will be more difficult because there's a whole lot of people out here, Cancer, that just behave in an utterly toxic way, and they're not trying to better themselves, but you're trying to better yourself. If you've had any kind of toxic energy yourself, you've worked on that. You've healed yourself, you're in the process of it. And so you've actually handled not only, you know, stepping out of this toxic situation, but you've been working on your own toxic traits as well. Why is the Seven of Wands in reverse? Yeah, you're doing that in order to find balance. So it was a very difficult lesson, it looks like, but it does appear that you have learned an incredible amount, you know, in this situation. All right, so we have the Ten of Wands and we have the Queen of Wands reverse. You might not be feeling your best right now. You might be feeling a little powerless, or a little like you just are not as attractive or as vivacious as you once were. It's obvious to me that this took a toll on you. But here's the thing, is that, because I see you kind of not feeling the passion for life that you normally do. You're weighed down. You have all these burdens. And at times you feel like you're carrying so many problems, so many things, that you don't even know what direction to go in. So you don't do anything. But here's the thing, is that you are still healing. Be gentle with yourself. Your energy is actually really good. You're addressing your own issues. You're learning the boundaries. You're looking back at things that have occurred. So be kind to yourself. Be your own best friend. because I do feel like you will get that spark in life back. Let's look at this person's energy. Why is the Seven of Cups here for the person in Cancer's energy? The Lover's reversed. And there's that King of Swords in the reverse again. Strong air sign energy is here, especially Gemini. However, the thing is this person was not honest with you. They're still not being honest with you. And they know it. They know it. It looks as if this person chose either someone else or they just put other people, not people, but other situations as a priority. They had options. And they chose to move in a dishonest manner. A lot of people will read the King of Swords in the reverse as narcissistic energy too. Now, I think calling someone a narcissist is it's overused, honestly. We all have some narcissistic traits, but I will be honest with you, this person has quite a few. They're money hungry. They're very, whatever works for them, and they don't care about anybody else. Everything is about them, and that is, a lot of narcissism there. Let me see why the King of Pentacles is in reverse. They do miss you. But why wouldn't they? You were giving and giving. Knight of Swords, Justice in reverse. They're coming back towards you. They either have or they're going to. I feel like you're aware of this. This person is definitely coming back towards you, because they feel you slipping away. They know they have not treated you well. They know that they didn't do right by you. For some of you, this person even stole from you, whether it was time or money. For some of you, it was absolutely money. But this person stole from you. They were taking, but not giving anything in return. They're coming towards you, and they're coming fast. So you're going to hear from this person. But I don't see them in a good energy. I don't. And be careful if they come towards you looking for money, because I feel like their money might not be where it needs to be. Let me see why the King of Swords is in reverse. See, their energy just has not changed. All right, so we have the Nine of Swords reversed. We have the Moon in reverse and the Four of Swords. Yeah, so there's been a break in the communication. Even if it was just you, because I feel like this person is literally kind of turning you off at this point. I mean, they seem to be more problematic than enticing. So what I'm seeing is that this person is coming towards you. They're keeping secrets still. They're going to come in and they're going to act like everything is good. Like they're not upset. They're not worried about anything. They're wearing a false mask is what I'm seeing. This is somebody that desperately needs to heal their energy. They are coming in to talk to you, but they're not coming in their true energy. And their true energy is that they have not changed, and they're still keeping secrets here. Let me see the energy between Cancer and this person. Show me the energy between Cancer and this person. Ace of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles. You were making long-term plans with this person. You thought that this person was going to be someone. For some of you, you may have been planning to marry this person, or perhaps you did. If you are married to this person, there's unresolved legal issues that are still here. And this person's worried about losing money. And it might not be them you hear from initially. It could be through an attorney, but that's for only a few of you. I do see that this person, you were making long-term plans. You thought this person was where your future was going to be. Now they're coming back in order, they either have or they're going to, because there's a revisitation here from someone who walked away. You're over here in the process of healing, trying to close this cycle out, learning your lessons, applying your lessons, and working on yourself. Well, this person's still in the same energy, but they're coming in with a dishonest offer of a new beginning. I would not trust this. I would not. It does appear that you are surrounded by either close friends or perhaps family there's somebody here that is highly supportive of you, and that person is basically saying, look, Cancer, you need to avoid this person. They feel you disengaging. They feel it, and that's why they're rushing back in. But I'm telling you, their energy hasn't changed. Of course, you know, it's always your decision. I'm here to read what is presented. I don't decide what is done. It's in the cards. I present it to you. You always need to make your choice, Cancer. Never give away your power to a tarot reader or family member or anybody else for that matter. Let's see why this Five of Cups is here. This person had promised you a stable relationship. You thought this was going to be long-term. You thought this was going somewhere, but it wound up in a lot of conflict. And I do feel like a lot of you guys have discovered just how deceitful this person is. Let's try that again. Show me the Five of Cups. Why is the Five of Cups here? All right, so we have the 10 of Cups reversed, and we have, look at that, the 7 of Wands. Now here it was in the reverse, right? It's going into the upright. The more that you heal, the more you put those boundaries in place, the more you work on your own toxic traits, the more you decide what is appropriate in your life and what is not, and you find this balance, then the more empowered you become. So I see you standing your ground with this person. Yeah, you're even questioning whether they actually cared for you or not. And I gotta be honest, I'm not seeing cups in their energy here. There's not even one, other than being unhappy, the 10 of Cups in the reverse, and that's not a positive. So this person feels you moving away. They feel you becoming empowered and standing your ground. They feel you healing, and they're coming back in. So whether you have or have not talked to them, this person energetically is feeling this, but they're not coming back in with a good aura about them. Yeah, but they're coming because they're unhappy that you're moving forward. Let me see, why is the 4 of Cups here? You're going to stand your ground with this person. You're definitely empowering yourself. And like I said, your energy is looking good. I can see you've gone through a lot, but I can also see a lot of growth that is taking place. All right, so in your outcome, we have Judgment in reverse. We have the Hangman in reverse. Temperance reversed. Sagittarian energy. Libra is very strong as well. Pisces energy is here. And then we also have the 4 of Cups. So you're basically ignoring them. All right, so I do see that in your outcome, you're ignoring this person. You're looking back at the past. You've learned a lot of lessons. You may be feeling like you made some poor judgment calls here. Again, Cancer, do not be too hard on yourself, because we're all learning, you know, and you just have this great big giving heart. Most Cancers I know are like that. So I do feel like it's taken a long time for you to make a better judgment calls. It's taken a long time for this person to come back in, but you're not going to accept any kind of reconciliation is what I'm seeing. Now, if you are inclined to do so, then by all means do so, but that's not what I'm seeing in the cards. I do see that, you know, they are coming back in. They are going to try to reconcile. However, I feel like once they know that you're not accepting any of the BS, they're going to turn angry. I do feel like they're going to turn angry because it's going to make them unhappy. They're not going to get the result they want. And generally people that are in this energy, when they don't get what they want, they will either get angry or they'll get more sneaky. So I see you ignoring this person. I see that they're kind of turning you off. You know, you're remembering all the problems. You're remembering how powerless you felt. And you're now stepping into your power. So you're going to stand your ground. You're going to continue to ignore this person because you felt like they were not respectful. And I would have to agree. You're looking at this as something that you no longer want, basically. And it's very strong energy. You're definitely closing out this cycle. Now, in their energy, this is going to cause their emotions to just be all over the place, but they're not going to show it to you. They took their own sweet time to come back in here, and as their big mistake was, other than their kind of shitty energy, was the fact that they waited for so long to come in. And they're, you know, they are not going to find the same person that they walked away from. You have grown tremendously, and that's going to be very threatening to them. Their energy, and remember, they're coming in, they're still keeping secrets. They're still, you know, not being on the up and up. They're still in that King of Swords reversed energy. So nothing has changed. And what I'm seeing here is that as soon as you are not like giving them the attention that they're seeking, you're not, I don't even see you trying to talk to them. It's almost like you're like, nah, you're considering it. And then you're like, nah, I'm going to stand my ground on this one. They're going to be all over the place. They're going to be extremely emotional. Yeah, they're going to be extremely emotional, but they don't want you to know it. Unfortunately, I think it's going to get the best of them. Bottom of the deck, you have the 3 of coins. Now, this could be somebody that you worked with, or in some manner, maybe you used to work with, or you did. Doesn't have to be. But as an underlying energy, this is indicating to me that you're closing out this cycle that was very disempowering, and you are now working on your own foundation. Both financially and emotionally. It's very important to you to have a stable foundation. So that's what you're moving into. That's your new cycle. All right, I'm going to pull an oracle card. We'll see if there's any further advice for Cancer. Yeah, I really feel like you're going to hold your own with this. All right, so you have number 7, and it says, to the sea. So let's read that. Give me a second. All right, so the essential meaning of this card is being in flow, returning to source, and recognizing how pieces fit together, a natural pattern of events. It says, isn't it wonderful when you feel yourself in the flow of life, when events and conditions seem to engage you in a way that is fluid and effortless? This card reminds you that going with the flow is exactly what you need to do right now. Ride the wave of opportunity formed by perfect conditions. Allow trust and faith to guide you forward as you flow like a river into the sea of life. And then I'll read the relationship message. I think I'm going to read the protection message for you as well. It says, there are points in a relationship when you have to decide to go with the flow rather than dictate the course you share with another. Can you let go of the need to have things your way and allow the relationship itself and your combined goals and desires to steer the ship? Can you both transcend your personalities and allow the partnership to form its own identity, its own energy? Now is the time to relax and see where a mutual journey might lead. I do not feel like it's with this person because your energy is absolutely not compatible with theirs, but, you know. I'm going to read you the protection message, though, because I feel like this person is rather aggressive. It says, when external conditions appear to block every attempt to move forward, there is no hidden message for you to decipher. Like the ocean, the tides of experience ebb and flow. You are in a natural cycle. So know that things will flow again in due course. There is no cause for alarm. Stop resisting and fighting against the situation and learn to flow, even when the tide is going out. Relax and trust in the abundance that will soon be within your reach again. An ancient mariner's saying applies to you now. When fishermen cannot go to sea, they stay home and repair their nets. And that is exactly what you're doing. That's exactly what you're doing. So, love will come to you, Cancer, at the right time in the right way. You have to remember that what is for you will never pass you by. All right? So just, continue what you're doing. Continue healing yourself, empowering yourself, working on your own toxic traits, because we all have them. And when the time is right, then your net will be ready. All right, I hope that this has been helpful for you. If you've resonated with this reading, Cancer, hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Hype the video if you get the opportunity. And until I see you in your next reading, Cancer, know that you are love, and namaste.